Right, hi everyone.
Hi, happy Friday.
Happy Friday, and it's nearly Christmas as well, which is in just a couple of days' time. So we thought we'd just kind of hop on and just basically just say, give you permission to do whatever the fuck you want at Christmas because it is just a time where you should just be happy and yeah, and just sort of do what you want. So we just thought it was a bit of a different one, really. I know last week we sort of spoke about um like how to maintain positive mindset and stuff in January, but because Christmas is so close, we just thought we'd have a chat and just yeah, kind of give you an insight and I know a lot of people always feel guilty for overindulging or whatever, and this is just to say don't feel guilty. You know, it's a time where you should be just enjoying yourselves, being with your family, and stuff like that. So, yeah, bit of a different one this week.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like it's interesting because I think me and I know definitely myself, and I think you, Laura, I tend to be an overachiever and I'm always looking ahead and wanting to achieve and wanting to do everything and like wanting it to be the best as well. And I can so often forget to like enjoy the moments. And I can't switch off and I'm like always looking ahead and ahead. And so yeah, we were kind of chatting about that and just thought, yeah, you know what, like that's what we should share about. It's just like really taking this time, however you choose to spend it, to just like be present, enjoy the moment. Connection, I feel like is the most important thing. We've had like I've been hearing a lot of conversations and just in the networking group I'm in recently, the conversation about like how overwhelming this year has been. And it's interesting, like the woman doing the talk was saying how it's almost like we've got this hangover from the pandemic that's still kind of lurking around, where kind of it happened, we came out of it, everyone kind of like rushed into whatever we were doing, like really kind of grateful to be back to normal, however that was, and getting back into work, back into doing all the things. And then it kind of like had this delayed, and this year, apparently, like, there's a lot like the psychologists that have been discussing about it, and apparently they labeled it the pandemic skip. We lost the kind of 2 or 3 years of certain things, like if you were in the dating game, like not being able to go on proper dates or whatever, and that all kind of getting screwed up, and not being able to see people or whatever it might be, just a massive kind of like pause on certain things that you wanted to get going. Like I used to do retreats, and I still haven't really been able to bring that back in. And so we've kind of got this lull feeling, which has kind of, yeah, so it stirred up this feeling of all of a sudden overwhelm, especially when you've got the social media now, which is just so active and, you just got information coming at you from all over. So I just feel like whether you celebrate Christmas or not, and I'm mindful that some people may not have that, perfect
Mm.
Christmas kind of picture. I mean, whatever that is. Some people may not have family around them right now, or you might have lost a loved one, and it's a difficult time, and I really get that. But it's for whatever reason, it's a time that we've all been given time off. Everyone pretty much, unless you're like I don't know in the retail game or
Or the
hospitals. That
NHS.
used to be shit for
Yeah.
us. Yeah, like it's a kind of a time off that you can really enjoy being with people, and people give that extra bit of time to socialize. You get to see your family that you may not see often, or just have time to do whatever you want. And I think, like Laura was saying, like just having that time is unapologetically be like, oh yeah, Christmas films, let me indulge in that. Or, like, you know what, I just can't be bothered to go on my run today and it's raining. I'm just going to chill, and just really enjoying, being like, okay, it's a dark time, it's a cold time. I'm going to just give myself some me stuff, whatever feels good for me right now.
Yeah, and I think as long as you've sort of been consistent or, trying to be as balanced as you can up until that time, then a couple of days isn't gonna hurt at all. It's not gonna throw you off track at all. It's hard to kind of eat 10,000 calories in a day. But actually, it's probably not. You think like if you add in the booze and the Baileys and stuff, but um, yeah, it should just you know because you don't not everybody has the same time off, and it's just nice to all be together. I know a lot of people have to travel, so like we'll be going to my family on in the morning. We've got a toddler, so then we're going to come all the way back here. So it's like, it's a bit of a drive. But we have to have dinner here because of naps and things like that. So, and then Boxing Day, we're at my partner's family, and then I'm going to go and see friends and stuff. So it's always a day where you try and squeeze in and see as many people as possible. But I know that when we're around my family, they're going to look after our daughter so that we can just veg and just like my mum makes banging sausage rolls from scratch. So I've already put I've put like a lot of reminders in about that just to make sure that she gets those on the table. So we'll just be eating those and just relaxing, and whatever my brother and stuff will be over. So it'll be really nice. And the same like when we're around his family. But yeah, I've got people who or friends that their pet, like my friend's mum sadly passed away around that time only a couple of years ago. So Christmas for her is a bit got a few friends, actually, three friends where their mums sadly passed, but at that time. So it's always a bit of a pinch of salt. If you've got kids, Christmas is more for the kids, I think, the excitement and stuff and the magic. And then if you've got that in the back of your mind where it's a bit, it's sad, but you have to put a bit of a mask on, like we were saying the other day, about the mask thing. It's difficult. So yeah, we kind of understand that it's not a one size fit. It's not as easy to say, go and have fun and do what you like at Christmas. But what you mentioned before, Lisa, before we actually started recording this was a really good point about if you don't have family to go and do something that you can still be with people. What was it with the with volunteering and stuff? I don't know if that was a really good point. Maybe some people might want to
Yeah.
get on board.
Yeah, I was saying how I've always had, it's interesting, I've always had this situation where my mum and dad aren't together, so kind of have to do the rounds, see them, and I've got, I'm so grateful that I have all my grandparents, and so I really love to see them, and it wears me out. It's great, I love it, but it's like, go see you, go see you, go see you.
Yeah.
And it's just that one day where everyone is in, and like it's so and this year I was thinking I've been feeling so fatigued, and it's actually quite hard now to get back to Birmingham from where I live. I was contemplating on, what, just to make it easier for me and do what I really need right now. As much as I'd love to see them, like it can be at my detriment. The last couple of times I've been going back to Birmingham, the journey and how hard it is, it just really knocks me out. So yeah, I was kind of contemplating, okay, so if I didn't do that, like what would I do? I definitely, I kind of for me it can be like a really low time. Because I don't know, it's dark, it's horrible and whatever. And I know I guess I'm very empathic, and I really feel for people who are on their own. I was saying to Laura how I had a friend who had no family, and we ended up having him around ours this one time. It's pretty miserable actually, but I get it. Like he had no one around him and stuff. But and I always thought, like, yeah, if that happened to me, or if I didn't go back to Birmingham, I would want to go and be of service to people who are in the kind of a similar situation or in hard situation, and like you've got the soup kitchens or the food banks or whatever. I think I would get a lot of enjoyment and reward from going to one of those things. I used to live in a co-living community called The Collective. Those communities are amazing. So you've just got like lots of people living in one place, and you've got all these kind of common areas that you share, like gym and spa and a cinema or whatever. And I used to go home for it, but then the people who didn't really have family because obviously in London, people can be here for work or whatever and might be away from family. They used to get together and have Christmas, lunch or whatever. Some people didn't really celebrate it, they're from different religions, whatever, but oh my God, it looks so much fun. Like they really put the effort to come together, have, some food or whatever, have some games, and just connect. And I used to feel envious of it because it was kind of like, it was your chosen way rather than, feeling the dutiful, like I must go and see the family and you kind of have to do what they do. I end up watching a lot of TV that I wouldn't normally watch. But yeah, it was like, wow, what a nice way of just being intentional about how you want to spend that time. You know, and I think it's a time where everyone is a bit more softer and like, you know, wants that connection. It gets like forced down our throat, you know, with all these
Mhm.
romantic films and, you know, like all this Christmassy stuff. And it's like, it's a time for giving, it's a time to connect. And yeah, like I think we could feel upset if we haven't got that. But, you know, there are other people. And so you could actually just intentionally create a situation where you connect. And I think that could be really lovely. Actually, like my nan used to be a warden of an old people's home, which was amazing, by the way. Like we used to like hang out there as kids, and they'd have like quiz nights sometimes, or you know, like these things where they get together. And I remember a couple of the years, many years ago when I was really young, they would have big Christmas lunches, and it would be massive long dining tables. My nan would help with all making all the food and stuff, and it felt so much fun to just be around lots of people, and you know, like everyone felt elated because they were able to connect and get together. And like I never forget that, like how much fun that was. And like if ever I was in a situation where, you know, that was the case, I'd really love to do something like that. And I know there are more things going on like that now since COVID.
Yeah.
You know, like your local area will have something going on. And I definitely recommend, you know, rather than, and it's hard, you know, like if this is a season that isn't your best, and you know, like I said on our last one of the calls, my nan passed away a couple of years ago on Christmas morning, which was so hard, like devastating for my mum. And because of that, we made the effort to go and, you know, be around her and stuff, because it was just literally on that day. You know, but like we were saying before, like Laura said, like I wasn't always for Christmas and like always doing the rounds or whatever before. You know, I came from a really strict religion when I was younger, and kind of like I see holes in Christmas, and I, you know, especially when I've seen people who aren't able to see the joy in it because things have happened to them. I'm really mindful that it doesn't have to be the whole, you know, Jesus and Christmas tree and presents and stuff. It can just be like that time that you can connect with people, and you know, like it's just that one date in a calendar that has intention around it, and so that can be really powerful if you plug into that. You know, and I remember you saying, Laura, that you used to travel and stuff. I've got friends who use it as a time to travel, and they absolutely love it. Like my friend's going to Bali around Christmas, and she has the most amazing times, and it's like
Yeah,
her time
yeah,
for like it's me time. So
yeah,
there's so many ways of doing it, but for me, I just think, you know what, like we said this before, as much as we want to, you know, be around the people we love and do what they love, it's about us as well. You know, like it's like, what do I need? It's the end of a long year. I've done, you know, I've worked, I've done whatever, I've gone through whatever experiences. What do I want to do to close this year off? Like, how would it be really meaningful to me and like really plug into that, I feel like.
yeah. Do you know what's really weird? My gran used to own a nursing home as well, and we used to go there on Christmas, and with the big long tables, I'd forgotten about that.
Did you do that?
Yeah. And like we
Oh,
always make this caraway seed cake, which was like my dad's favorite. It'd be like massive. And I used to love like just going and talking to the old people and
it's
just
amazing, isn't it?
yeah, like it's so nice and yeah, obviously yeah, nice good memories which I've completely forgotten about. Um but yeah, I mean when I went traveling, I think I'd spent Christmas in well, Thailand a couple of times, in Cambodia and Vietnam, and you meet all these different people. And it was like I'm quite at home, but I quite like being with my family. But my ex-husband at the time didn't really, he hated Christmas, hated birthdays, so that's sort of why we went away. And it wasn't different to be somewhere where it's like really hot and then you having this Christmas dinner and it's like 35 degrees outside and you're just not hungry because you're so hot. But yeah, it's certainly different. I think if you don't really like Christmas that much, then if you just get away from it, maybe that's the best thing. And if I know people that don't have any family around them, that's just what they do. They just go off traveling because then I guess you don't have to, you're not reminded of like, you know, no family. But I think if I was me, I'd probably ask my friends if I could spend Christmas with them. I just don't like, I wouldn't want to be on my own, but I wouldn't want to be reminded that if I didn't have family there either. But it's, yeah, it's a difficult time. But I think if you can just go, right, okay, well, I'm going to try and make some good out of it and, you know, sort of help others. Maybe sometimes that's the way to go and it's a distraction that keeps your mind off it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it's all about being intentional on how you kind of perception is everything, isn't it? If you perceive it to be like, I mean, it is a bit of it's a funny one, isn't it? Because it's kind of like a lie that people, you kind of give to your children. It's magical and it's like a really nice kind of fairy tale story. But I guess some people can use it to, like, as bribery with the kids, and
Yeah.
like the whole consumerism thing. And I've got friends who are like, so like, oh, it's just so consumerism, and there can be kind of like quite negative streaks around it. But then I just think it's there, and it's going to be there, and you can tap into it however you want to, and it's like you don't have to buy into the consumerism thing. I like to go into charity shops and kind of, get gifts that way, and like different things that I know would be fun for people, like, I don't know, cooking books or whatever that they could kind of use. And I think it's always a fun thing as well to do it like a secret Santa, and actually like spend time really choosing something that would be good for someone in that way, or even creating gifts. Like I work with my cacao, and I really like kind of creating these little gift boxes for people with the cacao and stuff. And I just think you can do so many things. It doesn't have to be that whole consumerism thing. And it's just about, I think, like being intentional, like, how do I want to spend this time for me? And
Yeah.
even if it is choosing, like, you know what, I just want to stay in on my own, have some hot Baileys or whatever, and I'm just going to do me and watch loads of films, and like I don't want to see anyone. Like, cool, do it. Like, if that's how
Yeah.
you really feel, and like rather than be forced into doing what other people want, I think it's all about being like, yeah, like you said, unapologetically, this is how I want it to be.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah, like it's nice to be caring of other people, but sometimes we need to do what we need to do.
Yeah, definitely. No, 100% agree. And hopefully this will just give everyone permission just to do what they want, and just enjoy it. Try enjoy it. It shouldn't be a stressful time of year. It should be one that we can look forward to. But yeah. So
Yeah. So enjoy the
next week.
moment. But then, yeah, and I was going to say, it's like, if you are a stickler for having really a good diet, or, like wanting to go to the gym, but it's closed or whatever, it's like tomorrow's a new day. Like all the things that you want to do, like if you take those couple of days to connect and do whatever, like have off days, you're going to get back onto it. So, like for those of us who are high achievers, the business heads, people who've got businesses who can't let them go. Like, I really hope that you can give yourself this time to just be like, okay, let's give some time off, and just plug it in, like be with your family, be with your friends, whatever is really meaningful to you, like just to kind of, not be so goal driven all the time. So I think that can be easily done.
Yeah. No,
And
I agree.
then get back on it in January, and we've got some
Yeah.
stuff there.
And our next podcast is about how to help you to achieve your goals and stay on track in January as well. So that'll be next week's one. So, but yeah, just
Yeah.
enjoy this time and
And we said on the last one that we did, we're going to set up, we're offering a free 5-day challenge, all about like making January like the best it can be for you. So like really getting clear on your goals, really getting clear on why you want to do certain things, so you make sure you do them. Forget about New Year's resolutions, they don't work.
yeah,
There's statistically, they say most people who try and start something on January, it's very unlikely that you kind of keep the momentum. But it's only because there's a way that you have to do it. There's a strategy, like there's a structure that you have to go along. And also,
yeah,
what really helps you really keeping your goals is having accountability, and kind of having what do you call it, encouragement and motivation around you. So we're creating these 5-day challenge. We're going to create a Facebook group for you to be in, a community that was going to really help each other, uplift each other. So you really get the goals that you really want and achieve them. So yeah, that's going to be, we'll share more about that in our next live.
yeah. Yay.
Thanks for joining us,
Yeah.
and have an
Happy
amazing
Christmas.
Christmas, however
Yeah.
you enjoy it.
And we'll
See you
see you next
soon.
week. Bye.